Okay, so we've got 10 whole minutes to walk through the new age of technology. And I spent several thousand hours researching some of this for a new book that I have coming out. As David said, I'm part of Unstoppable Domains. We just became a unicorn, which is pretty amazing. And we have been working in this space for quite some time. I also have been working in AI when I worked for IBM, and then blockchain and all the metaverse as I worked in my past life for Amazon Web Services. If you have any questions, just tweet me at the bottom. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I looked at was how are all these technologies converging? You just heard about AI. We're here with NFTs, Metaverse, and Web3. So I found that companies who are looking at these three different technologies and how they will converge in the future really need to do 5 core things. One, they need to have a forward-looking team that can help them interpret these things. Secondly, we need to start looking at experiences versus just the technology. In fact, I was telling Jody at dinner, if next year we don't talk about NFTs or Web3 or the metaverse, and we talk about new experiences, we'll be ahead of the game. Third, we need to look at putting people at the center of what we're doing, and then coupling that with digital identity as a human right. One of the main reasons I left Amazon Web Services to come to Unstoppable. And then finally, AI as a partner in all we do in these spaces. So we're just gonna flip through each 5 of these. I've got tons of examples and references I'd love to share with you, but we'll have to do that off stage, okay? So here we go, we're ready to fly, we're gonna move through it. So the first thing, if you're looking at a forward-looking view, one of the things you really wanna look at and think about are the industries that are doing this today. Now, I looked at this across Web3, AI, blockchain, and the metaverse, as well as NFTs. I'm showing you here the NFT view, given we're at NFT.NYC. And it's very interesting, those companies who are ahead of the game right now, first industry is fashion, which we've seen like in so many places. Look down the list, you see automotive. BMW was one of the very first to join the Metaverse Standards Association. And then I love to jump to consumer goods. I don't know if you've heard about Lowe's. Lowe's is a home good retailer. And what they have now done is they've put an NFT on their power tools to serve as a digital twin. So when you check out, essentially you mint your NFT, and it serves as a record of which of the power tools have been purchased. So they can track for crime or theft of goods. They lose today about 700,000 of $1 billion of sales every year. So some really interesting ways to use the technology. So now if you think about how do you action that as a company, one of my big recommendations is to form a rabbit team. And what is a rabbit team? Well, it's kind of like a tiger team, which we had many of at Amazon. But a rabbit team is a team that moves really quick, obviously, rabbit, but it also goes down the rabbit hole. If you're a brand, this is something that I always talk about, having someone who is an educator, because we're looking at new emerging technology. Product management, one of the secret sauces of Amazon itself, marketing technology. And one of the ones I've been using for about a year now is an AI tool set. So I decided to throw up the tool set I'm using today for artificial intelligence, everything from ChatGPT for content that you just heard about, to some of the new tools out there to manage communities. We use Copilot for some of our programming, and more importantly, documentation. And then if you love this keynote, you can thank Poise, because I used an AI mentor to help me practice for the keynote. So number 1 is have a forward-looking view on what you're doing. Number 2, having an immersive experience. Don't talk about the technology, but let's look at the experience that you bring. One of my favorite examples is Forever 21. And if you know them, they're really targeting a young generation to buy clothes. So what they've done is they've created a Roblox metaverse where you can co-create fashion with them. They've just come out with a hat that says Forever on it. They have t-shirts. What this does for their business is it helps them engage with their users, drives up their loyalty, and drives up their sales as well. Another great example is one of our partners, Polygon. How are they creating immersive experiences? Well, I think the ecosystem plays will be winners in the future. And they have built such an amazing ecosystem around this concept of a dot polygon. So you guys have probably looked at that as part of your digital identity, and so do they. They want to be able to individually message groups and form a tighter reward structure around this particular community. So as you're looking at this, what would you be looking at? Well, in the co-creation, companies like Forever 21 and BMW are leading the pack. If you look at rewards and royalty, which we didn't get to cover but is so important, Relic Tickets, Nike, and Starbucks. And then community building, not only Polygon, but also folks like BFF and Unstoppable Women of Web3. Okay, so now we're on item number 3, digital identity as a human right. Why is this so important? Well, it's about your data. Your data is who you are, and that should be private. But today in the Web 2 world, that data actually belongs to the platform where you sign in with your username and password. Is that data worth anything? Yes. Google and Facebook made $100 billion off of your data in the past half year. That's pretty amazing. In the Web3 world, you own your data. You own your digital identity, so you decide who, when, where, what that data is shown. I'm a visual person, so this is what that looks like in Unstoppable. You can see up here I've got my digital identity, sandy.nft. It's linked to a Ready Player Me avatar, so I can bring that with me. I have all my digital collectibles up here, have my decentralized website, and a ton of badges that show my sub-communities, micro-communities, which I think, again, is a super strong trend. Okay, we're gonna go on to number 4. I told you this would be fast and furious. So this is about putting people at the center of everything. And this is a good friend of mine, Kathy Hackle, known as the godmother of the metaverse. She created a new necklace. In fact, I am the first customer of it. I will show it to you here, and if you want to see it afterwards, happy to let you take pictures of it as well. She spent months designing it so that the physical to digital would be easy enough for a mainstream audience. And then I also love the example of Accenture, where they are now onboarding all of their employees in the metaverse. They get better community, better putting employees at the center of what they're doing as they drink their own champagne, selling concepts around the metaverse for businesses, but also having their employees really embed that. Okay, so we're going to area number 5, which is AI as a partner. Now AI, a lot of companies are deciding, is it friend or foe? I think it's neither. It's actually a partner, not a friend, not a foe, but a partner in what you are doing. You can use this to make your Web3 and your metaverse projects much stronger. Here's an example of Unstoppable Domains, where we have embedded ChatGPT into our search bar to give you much more creative and innovative solutions. Now this one is not quite as sexy, but has a lot of business outcome. This is Mossini. They are an Italian company that processes metal. I know you're probably wondering, why is it in a presentation at NFT.NYC? Well, what they do is they created a digital twin, which is a metaverse of their business. They've applied AI for simulation. Each of the swipes of metal are NFTs, and they simulate that processing of the metal in the metaverse or in that digital twin. This is so powerful because it's helped them with sustainability and meeting their goals, also reducing their cost, and creating some really cool metal processing that has increased their sales. Who would ever guess, right? A metal processing company could be using the metaverse and AI in such a cool way. Okay, my last slide, and I'll keep to our 10 minutes, the call to action for each of you. One is learn and be curious. All the great inventors, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos from Amazon, ask thousands of questions a day. Ask lots of questions while you're here. Ask lots of questions in your businesses. It'll really help you be successful. 2, everybody says to brainstorm. I would tell you to play storm. In this world, Web3, AI, and the metaverse, you have to get in there and try it. You have to try Midjourney, who developed all my graphics for my slides, by the way. You have to try ChatGPT, metaverses. You have to get in there and play. And then finally, look ahead. I'll leave you with this final quote. People often overestimate the power of technology in the short term. right? Like they want instant results from NFTs and metaverse, but they underestimate it for the long term. And the winners will be those who place the bets on the long term, which is all of you. So thank you so much for listening to me today. Appreciate it.
Good job.